everybody, Backyard Bullion here. Now, having a very large pile of random pieces of silver doesn't necessarily sound like a big problem to have. However, it is something that I've been thinking about over this last week or so, as I have recently gone through this box of goodies. Now, this is a huge collection of silver coins that I've accumulated over the last couple of years. There's a couple of bars in here as well, that I've accumulated from doing stuff here on YouTube. But it's also, I think, fairly indicative of what can happen and can get out of control quite quickly when looking to purchase a random eclectic mix of coins. Is that a good strategy to have? Is that a bad strategy to have? So I want to talk today a little bit about premium coins, because the vast majority of what you see here are premium coins. There are some bog standard bullions like the Queen's Beast series. There's a few Britannias, there's a few Oriental Borders and things like that in here, Perth Mint things, but there are quite a few individual premium items. And as you can see, this is quite the eclectic mix. We've even got some coloured coins in here, and it does form a little bit in my mind a, oh my goodness, what on earth am I going to do with all of this silver? Now that's a bit of a first world problem, I will admit. You know, it's nice to be able to have the opportunity to get these pieces and showcase them on here on YouTube. This is one of the main reasons why this box of stuff even exists. But at the same time, it does represent, over the course of this last 3 years of doing YouTube, quite a significant investment. I haven't even counted the ounceage here, but it's quite a lot. And I wanted to talk about that in terms of the premiums. I've basically dug myself a great big hole here, because the vast majority of what I've got here is stuff that I would be hard pressed to find the exact price paid for all of them. They'll be buried away in extra orders or individual orders here and there. So I want to also examine the question of, is silver just silver? Can this just be classed as silver? Is it healthy to do that? And all of those type of questions. So lots of things to crack on with today, and hopefully we've got some really cool things to look at along the way. Now, do remember, this is just my opinion here today. It's not a financial advice style video or anything like that. If you've got similar boxes of random pieces of silver lying around and you've got different ways of dealing with them, recording them, keeping them, selling them, then do let us know your thoughts down in the comment section. So, premiums, let's start there. There's a fair amount of stuff in this box which holds pretty high premiums. Let's just start with some of the colorized things. So I know these will be some of the very first pieces of kind of interesting colorized pieces of silver that I ever purchased. And I featured these, I think, way back on my channel, 2016 time. Now at that time I thought these were a pretty good idea, pretty good buy for me. I really enjoyed them, I liked them. But ultimately, they've just sat in a box for the last 3 years and really not done a great deal. And, you know, back in the time I bought them, there was a significant premium on there. No idea what it was. That's part of the problem, that a lot of what's in this box, you just don't necessarily know. I mean, I don't anyway. And if you're as lax at some of the record keeping as I am, it can be quite bad. It's really interesting though, because I have these converse strategies. And I guess this is part of the problem with silver. With gold, I'm very, very rigorous with my record keeping, and I've got a very large tracking spreadsheet of every single gold purchase that is out there. But when it comes to silver, especially this stuff here, which I kind of almost nonchalantly bought for YouTube and then just stuck in a box thinking, yeah, well, I'll sell that on eBay next week when I get a £1 seller's fee or something like that, recoup the cash, have a thing to focus on in a video here on YouTube, but I never did. And accumulating all of this silver is fantastic. I mean, there's definitely benefits to be had in terms of, you know, we've been saving money over all this time, but it does come at the pitfall of not entirely knowing how much cash has been put into all of this. And you'll see as well, there's a few things here that's just loose out here, and I've not looked after them that well. So let's get back to the question at hand, which is premiums on this stuff. So having this big pile of undocumented premium, in certain cases silver, this has definitely been a bit of a money trap in terms of we've put a significant amount of cash into these, like, you know, the emus and things. These would be 25, 26, 27 pounds an ounce. The Helenas were, you know, 24 pounds an ounce, something like that. Selling them is going to be an interesting question to have. Now, I've obviously not sold them. They've been there, and that's kind of been a conscious decision for us for a couple of reasons. One, because I kind of didn't want to deal with the box. I didn't want to go through it, sort it, organize it, research individually every single premium item that's in this. I mean, you've even got some here, some UK Facebook stacker rounds, which have interesting and torrid history behind them with that group and how it basically collapsed the group. But we won't go into too much of that now. Other things here. This was actually a giveaway prize which I won back in 2016. But I don't know a lot about each and every one of these. So having this huge eclectic mix of items is very satisfying for a collector's bug. You get all of these wonderful pieces that you can see and look at and enjoy. But ultimately, selling them is going to be a real pain, really is. So definitely something there to think about, some food for thought in terms of what you might want to target with your own strategies. Personally, if I wasn't here on YouTube, this box probably wouldn't exist. Having said that, I do have a bit of a collector's bug and a little bit of a basically impulse buy gene within me, I think, and when I see certain coins that I like to look to buy them, and some of them I think, oh yeah, this would be a really good series to collect and potentially even display and have and enjoy, but ultimately they've just sat in a box, and that's one of the things that can be really hard for people to process, that you have these responsibilities almost when you're purchasing these type of things to yourself as well as perhaps your family, if you are purchasing on behalf of other people later down the line in life, to really kind of understand what is going on, how you're going to look to potentially sell these in the future. So for us, we're in that fortunate position where these are not really burning a hole in our pocket in terms of that overall budget. It does form part of our longer term kind of silver stacking strategy. That said, there's a lot of cash here and it's not to be ignored, that is for sure. Now, the last thing that I kind of want to talk about in this video is whether or not stacking such an eclectic mix is healthy or not. Now, a lot of people out there will have similar issues to me, similar strategies to me in terms of buying things that they like or buying things which are in and hot. There's definitely a few things in this box that are bought as a whim, as an impulse, because I felt that they were hot on the market. There was a lot of talk about them, a lot of buzz about them, and I wanted to show them here on YouTube, but I also wanted to have them just in case. And the fear of missing out on certain things can actually be quite a hindrance. It can be quite the thing to knock you down if you are not careful about things. So I want to finish this video with my last point, which is a message on just being really sensible within your own self. Always research and understand the things that you might want to buy. You'll see people like myself and others here on YouTube talking about coins, showcasing coins. Sometimes the videos will even be sponsored. We try here on the channel to be very upfront and honest about that, and hopefully people make their own purchasing decisions. But I know from experience that you see something, monkey see, monkey do, wherever we've got one of the monkeys, monkey see, monkey do, and we often will just go out and purchase these things on a bit of a whim, and that is a dangerous thing. You can end up with a big box, big financial commitment of items which would not necessarily yield the greatest returns. In terms of if you are in this situation and you want to look to release some of the equity that's in these, you do have a little bit of an uphill struggle against you. A lot of these will have to be sold perhaps on eBay, and I've talked about eBay selling before. It is a mixed bag at best of times. So lots of interesting things to think about in terms of this strategy. Ultimately though, I know it does seem like a little bit of a first world problem. This is in fact, I think, yes, this is one of the mint era Dragon and Phoenixes. These are worth a pretty penny, 50, 60 quid perhaps on the right markets, with the little error near my thumb here behind the Phoenix's neck. And, it's an interesting concept, isn't it, to have a problem pile of silver that is just, these Chinese medals, they are lovely pieces, but to sell them at the right return, at the right profit margin, is going to be an uphill struggle, and that is definitely something that people don't necessarily think about when they go into it. And it's certainly something that I considered but haven't really realistically thought about. And when you look at everything out here on the table, you kind of get it in perspective a little bit. So it does help. Perspective, I talked about perspective last week, just about how important it is, and it can be quite a problem. So what to do with all of this box? Well, I think for me, it's personally as well, if you can afford to have this kind of collection, I guess it does give a lot of enjoyment, and that's a good thing in life. Is it's always nice to actually live and enjoy what you do. And for us, I guess there's a bit of memory in here. Each one of these coins is featured on a particular video. That's kind of cool, but at the same time, we're not emotionally attached really to them. So perhaps over time, you might see some of these go up on eBay, but it's an interesting one. Silver is silver at the end of the day, and to accumulate, And I've said, I know I said it in this video, I want to finish with a couple of different points, but this is really my last point. So my last point here is that worst case scenario, and it is a bit of a first world problem, because yes, you can end up with a very, very big eclectic box of silver, perhaps like this. Is that really a bad thing? No, in my opinion, it's not. If you've planned, if you can afford it, if it's within your budget, if this is not going to bankrupt you or make you miss rent payments or mortgage payments, then that's ultimately money saved. This is all cash that has been put aside. It's real, it's physical, it's here, and you do have the ability to release it over time. There's definitely an argument to be had that this is a positive box of silver, despite the fact that it's undocumented, it's, you know, a massive eclectic mix of randomness, and it does present a little bit of an uphill mountain of things to look to sell over time. So that's basically how I want to leave it. It can be a good thing, it can be a bad thing. Be prepared, be safe, be understanding that the things that you look to buy might, or your strategies might change, and your look on things might change over time as well. So that's my message I want to portray here today. Thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, put a thumbs up on this video and share it around on your social media. That would be very helpful for everything that we do here on the channel. And if you want to see videos from us in the future, then make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you want notifications, hit that alarm bell as well. Otherwise, that's it for me this week. Thank you very much for watching. Have a brilliant week ahead. And as always, please make sure that you like, share, comment, and subscribe for more.